we ran the notice in the paper, ago, I believe. And, I haven't received any comment in person or by phone, email, letter, nothing, in regards to this project.
I can't hear you guys. Just a little bit, but I can't really hear.
Okay, we're just wondering if you had any comments.
No, I have not had. I have not had any comments.
Okay.
Yeah, or any communication of any sort.
Okay,
Oh,
All
there
right.
now I can very well. There we go.
now you can hear?
Very
Okay.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, or any updates on, the, okay. I think you've answered a question, right? Okay. Okay, well, having no additional comments, then we'll move to number 5. And I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution, which is in your packet, and it is resolution 2024-02, authorizing the sale of land to Steve Elfring for development of single-family home at 1401 Fairview Avenue.
I'll move resolution 2.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, resolution 2024-02 is approved. Free to move ahead with the project, Steve.
Thank you very much. You asked for any update. Not really, other than I've finalized we tweaked the floor plan a little bit. That's been finalized. I've sent that to Susie this morning to get that over to Ron to finalize the development agreement. And other than that, I met in Olivia there January 12th, I think, with the builder and Michelle and Eric from FM and Susie and the group from the city. And I think the communication paths we're doing really well. So I've got the timeline now and I forwarded that to the builder. So we're on schedule to, as soon as, I guess I'd say as soon as frost is out, it might already be out, but yeah, for a spring start.
All right. Any questions from okay. Well, sounds good. Thank you very
All right.
much.
Thank
Okay.
you for the approval, and then I'll work with Susie on any details in the back end of this. Thank you.
Thank you much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
And next up, we've got Ron Beatty with Kennedy and Graven. He's preparing a developer purchase agreement, kind of being all in one. And we'll take action on that at the end of February. And we should be set to close by mid-March.
All right. Okay. Very good. All right, the next on the agenda is a review of bylaws. And I have to admit, I only briefly scanned them. I did not go word for word over them. Maybe one of you or more, maybe all of you did. But
I spotted a number of typos and things that we could probably clean up, but as far as the main gist of the document, I didn't really think there was anything we need to change.
Yeah, I had one question, under Article 4, officers. According to the wording of section 1 there, a treasurer should be designated as a board member, which I don't believe we've been doing that.
secretary too, I think it mentioned.
Well, I think it says the secretary and an assistant treasurer need not be members of the board. So I think we could get by saying Susie is the secretary or someone else who does our minutes. But I guess we're not in compliance with this. I don't know if we need to change that or designate, I mean, I would think our treasurer is gonna be the city finance director.
So it does say the assistant treasurer position shall be combined with the finance director position.
Right,
So that's
right.
correct. So I don't know if you need.
But it does say that the president, vice president, and treasurer shall be members of the board of commissioners.
We just
It may be a minor
get rid
thing,
of
but
the treasurer part.
yeah, we could amend that or
But
just
is,
so we're in compliance.
President and secretary.
is Susie then the officer of the board that's the secretary?
Yes, the
It says-
secretary and assistant treasurer need not be a member of the board of commissioners.
All right, so we would change the treasurer to be the city finance officer.
I would just strike it as an officer of the
Yeah, right.
board.
We move them to that, so the president and vice president shall be members of the board of commissioners. And strike treasurer out of that and include him down in the sentence where say
Get
that,
rid of assistant treasurer.
yeah.
And then just make it that the treasurer is the finance director.
Finance
Yeah.
director shall act as treasurer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we could probably struggle on without an assistant treasurer.
It's tough. Might be able to-
Yeah.
And then there was also, let's see, Article 5 talks about attendance and expenses. I don't know if we've ever had a reason to incur any travel expenses. I suppose that could come up. Is that something that is in the budget?
We have like a training and travel budget. I don't know if it's ever been used for board members, but I don't know if we've had the opportunity.
Yeah. And then it also says that any commissioner who has 3 consecutive unexcused absences from duly called meetings shall be deemed to have resigned.
I think that's just boilerplate, isn't it?
That's on a
Mhm.
number of committees and commissions. It says unexcused, so obviously if somebody reaches out and you're aware of their absences, this is more if somebody just, for lack of a better term,
Yeah.
ghosts you.
Yeah.
Not showing up, you have the means of, instead of requesting a formal resignation, that if Jay just stops showing up to meetings after 3,
Mhm.
you can just say, okay,
So if someone is say ill, then that would be an excuse that.
because they can let you know about it.
Mhm.
So when we miss meetings, we should make sure that we respond to Susie
Yeah.
Get a note from your mother.
or the doctor.
The doctor. I did actually get a doctor's note once and I was like, what do I even do with this? I'm going back to work.
Um, And then, let's see, there was something about issuing sale of bonds.
That's under Article 8.
So yeah, number 1, the sale of bonds issued by the authority must be approved by the city council before issuing.
Mhm. Doesn't that already happen?
Is that true?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think so.
I believe so. We have the authority to issue bonds ourselves. As an EDA.
Only
No.
approved by the city council. That's in there.
But the city council can approve a bond.
Is that probably state law?
Probably is, like in our EDA statute.
Well, there's a difference between an EDA and an EDC. Like Wilmer is a Economic Development Commission, and I think there's a difference in powers between the two designations.
I can ask Pamela about that one when she returns from vacation.
There's also a statement in here that says the city administrator shall serve as finance director. Unless the
Oh, you
city
wanna-
council.
We want to change that one out.
Where is that?
It is, I don't know, Roman numeral VI, but it's under that one. And it's on the second page of that, number 6.
John does a great job as.
But then it says if the city council requests the authority designated to another individual.
Well, there was a period of time, I guess, where we didn't have a
Finance director, so maybe that's how it got put in there.
Oh, this hasn't been done for quite a while, though, I don't think.
Can we just take out number 6?
Executive director. But the rest of the statement has nothing to do with the
Mhm.
executive. That doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
And do we prepare an annual report? This is under annual report and budget 9, so one X on the next page.
We really don't. I mean, we could. We probably should.
We are working on for 2024, there will be an annual report for city operations that we're working on, because I think it's just good standard practice to
Yeah.
report to your council and your residents. kind
Yeah.
of The state of things.
But wouldn't the financial report, at the end of the year, but that basically is an annual report, isn't it?
That is, yeah, our audit report and things like that.
But then March 1st wouldn't be a good deadline if we were gonna use the most current audit. Be more like September 1st or October 1st. I don't know.
Well, that's the second one is annual budget projecting. Oh, that's just their budget report. The state audit report is June 30th. I mean, an annual report on the EDA by March 1st, but it's kind of
Be
do a total
yeah.
of the year.
This is
Just
what
a
you've
recap.
done,
Yeah.
this is how many
Mhm.
funds you've awarded to businesses or property that has been sold or.
Kind of go through and take out highlights from the minutes or something and compile them.
Would probably be a good thing to start doing.
So we'll just kind of. Let's see if there was anything else that.
An interesting, maybe conflict, Article 3, number 8. No stated salary shall be paid to commissioners, etc. Versus Article 4, number 8, that says the salaries, if any, of all officers and agents shall be fixed by the Board of Commissioners. So I guess we could assign ourselves a salary.
We could, how we pass that vote.
Probably get a lot of people showing up at our meetings there.
Get a lot of application. So should we get rid of?
Number 8 of Article 4, maybe? Yeah, the salaries of any.
Mhm.
And what did you say it was in conflict with, Tom?
Right here, number 8 there, no stated
Oh.
salary. Which I guess just means that there's no stated salary, so it's all off the books then, right?
Yeah.
You get sandwiches. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
You know, the newspaper guys here.
Might make for a juicy front page.
And are we technically commissioners? Is that the right term? Okay. Any other thoughts on that for now? I imagine we'll get I'll take more time to go through it too and send you the comments if I have them.
That'd be great.
And then we'll get another chance to review this, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Provide kind of a clean copy of these edits.
Yeah.
at the next
Yeah.
meeting.
Mhm.
Or even to track changes is kind of handy,
Yeah.
so we can see what's been taken out and what's been added. Okay. Review, that'll be good to get that updated. All right, here comes the fun part of the meeting. Our goals and ambitions for 2024. And let's see, just to review, what we had for our goals for 2023 was sale of Bayberry, which has been completed. Chrysler Center resolution, which I believe we have
That result.
resolved that, so that is completed. Downtown improvements, which were, suggestions were central business district sidewalk repair. Recreational opportunities, including trails. But I did make a note that the city did do a pickleball court, so that is a recreational.
And they are breaking ground on phase 2 of the trail this summer.
Okay,
Breaking ground or will complete?
We'll complete this
Both,
year.
it's estimated to be about a 30-day project from start to finish.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
good.
Cool.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Is that good, gonna connect to the pond?
Careful what you ask for. You can get riffraff like me in your neighborhood.
Stop on by when you're walking.
Yeah. Let's see, spec home build. Well, we're moving ahead on that pretty successfully. Remove blighted property, including the Hinton Apartments. Well,
Kind of hard when we don't own it.
Not praying hard enough for that, just well-spaced tornado.
well,
Take that thing down.
No, you're right.
yeah,
That's the one by Dollar General,
yeah.
reinforced.
Been
like a
built by the Army
bomb
Corps of
shelter.
Engineers.
It's a sweet potential.
But like you noted, we don't
Go for it.
own it. So
Mhm.
we don't have a lot of say over what happens.
Business opportunity,
Yeah.
urban paintball.
Ooh.
For the Hinton part, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, be
Those
awesome.
apartments, that'd be fun. You go door to door.
That would be an excellent paintball. Oh, yeah, Rubble in there would be perfect too.
Yeah.
You'd have to sign
Good luck
waivers.
finding, good luck finding insurance, but yeah. Lots of waivers.
The part is you gotta pull the asbestos and everything up probably to get it.
Waiver. You can get a gas mask. Come on. It's part of the experience.
Well, we could suggest that to the owner.
There you go.
All right, another goal for last year was daycare center. Still working on that. Infrastructure for future housing lots. We actually have
Working on that.
done that. An event center.
Ironically, Mike Berge created an event center. Elizabeth went in it.
Oh, yeah?
Well, yeah, so the building across
Hey.
from Don Orth Interstate Engineering.
Old page.
Yeah, there you go. So modeling that, I did the very small town thing. If I saw the lights on one night while I was driving by, so I just shut the doors and they weren't
Good for
off.
you.
And Mike was there and I asked him to show me around. And it looks really nice. They have a stage. He's working on a catering kitchen. He says there's, room for a couple hundred people for different events and things like that. He has hosted some own personal events. I believe he's hosted a quinceanera in there and things like that. So he, in his conversations with me, he's looking to make it into a community asset where people can host events, since he saw that was lacking in the city. So I don't know if he has a slated specific opening date, but it looks really nice in there.
Awesome.
Cool. And he's working on a catering kitchen.
Yeah, so they have a kitchen there, but he's working, that was kind of his next step project to move forward with.
Yeah. Cool.
Mhm.
All right. Some of our suggestions, if money was no object priorities, were the event center, recreational opportunities. Didn't get very specific there. Daycare center was also listed under money is no object. Remove blighted property, money is no object. The city is working on some of that, aren't they? The city council?
Couple, properties, one that is gonna hopefully do a controlled burn this spring.
Right across from Casey's.
On the rec center, we have had conversations with Jackie and that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh,
It's
yes,
not that we haven't done anything.
Mhm.
that's right.
It's a tough nut, so it's.
Yeah, no, we gotta wait to see if they can get bonding.
Let's see, another suggestion was a spec home, which was the same as above, and then home and house development, which I think we could say that we're working on that as well. Let's see. Hi, Crystal. Hello. One thing, and I'd like to open this up so that we all can just kind of brainstorm, and then we'll have other things that we can all kind of vote on or do, put on our sticky notes, the ones that we agree to, so, or that we think is important. One additional one I thought was, use of the Dirks building,
Mhm.
really nice.
I
too.
had that one on my list that I was brainstorming at work
Good.
earlier this week. But something is happening. I just don't know what. Cause there's stuff outside when I go to work. And so
Oh.
I don't know if maybe Judy's just trying to get it updated or if there is an interested party that is trying to help with the updates. But I know you had mentioned maybe the EDA pitches in for an inspection when it is ready to be sold.
Yeah, whatever with the EDA could do.
But that is a really nice location. So it would be nice to get something in there.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some questions about, several old buildings connected together.
Mhm,
I think they had some questions about some of the construction or something.
mhm.
Maybe that's what they were looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, the roofing repair too.
Yeah,
They might have done that already.
I think that was done.
yes.
Seen some folks up there.
Mhm.
That's good.
The same people repairing the city hall
Oh.
mentioned that they were looking at that.
Potential investment.
Mhm.
You got rental spot upstairs.
Is that currently being used, the rental stuff up spots upstairs?
One
Oh,
of
no.
them.
One?
One totally needs to be gutted.
Yeah, I think
Like
they
a
all-
roof shell.
all need.
And how many did we think are?
There's 3 or 4 up there.
Cause that would provide more housing or apartment housing. If it, I don't know how nice it is.
Yeah, I've never been up there, but I know Steve had mentioned that he was gradually working on,
Above the old Ben
Updating.
Franklin.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the small apartments up there. There's a second store above the old original furniture store.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's
And they have apartments up there. I think that's where the funeral service was originally located. They used to do the
An
embalming
elevator.
and stuff up there.
There's an elevator in there?
Yeah, there's a dumbwaiter.
Oh, is there? Hmm.
It's a huge apartment. It could be really cool.
That would carry people up there?
Yep.
Not just,
And
not just food?
And it's not creepy. Like, I thought it would. It's not. The building is cool.
Is it all one parcel now? Cause I had talked to somebody who had said that it had been parceled off into multiple different parcels, or it could potentially be.
It is, it's like 8 buildings, I think. Separate, but some of them have been cobbled together. Some utilities have been removed, so like sections do need to stay together. But the family has divided it into 2. So like Ben Dirk's Trust has like the original furniture store. And then Steve and Judy have the Ben Franklin side. It could be parted out a little bit more, but it would take some utility work.
And there was only one section that qualified for historical designation,
Yeah.
right? And that was what Steve had told you, and that was the 523, where the 523 store was. Okay, another thought I had was, in, promoting tourism based on the Michael Dowling legacy.
Hmm.
We're just kind of brainstorming, Crystal, so, economic,
Money wasn't an issue.
if money wasn't an issue, yeah, goals for 2024.
Like to see some sort of home improvement incentive program or reimbursement.
Sean and I have been having conversations, I mean, nothing's really concrete. And our next step is to work with Pamela at Kennedy and Graven to see really what we can do to create some sort of, what we were envisioning is like a sister program to what the county offers for the homeownership rehab.
Mhm.
Because like $5,000 doesn't get you very far anymore.
Mhm.
So what can we do to help incentivize residents to keep their properties up?
Mhm.
And then you can couple it with theirs. And I think they just raised theirs. I want to say it's $6,000. So if you had $12,000 to work with, plus you have to provide a match. In addition to that, I mean, you could get a roof done and
Mhm.
you could do siding, you could do windows. So.
I think
that's
doesn't
coming up
Michael
with-
County have something similar to that?
Yeah.
So we would do a sister program to that,
That, yeah.
specific to Olivia.
Mhm.
Oh.
It's a good idea.
Would that fall under us or the city council? I don't see that would spur economic activity necessarily.
You'll add to the tax base a little bit.
Might add more housing.
Or more people would be have to buy houses in places that are less desirable. because the house
Yes.
next to them doesn't look as
Yes.
I'm saying it's a
Yeah.
valid thing from a community standpoint. I'm just not sure if it necessarily fits in with economic development is my question, I guess.
Well, I think, you know, the housing stock in this town is an issue on basically all levels.
Mhm.
And I was the one who raised the thing about, damaged houses, you know, removal.
Lighted, yeah.
And the one that I had in mind, because I had to drive by it every day, was a kitty corner from the jail. A
Oh,
little
yeah.
house on the corner there.
That big stucco house?
No, this is,
That one could go to.
What?
That one could go to.
Yeah.
yeah, right. But there's a
Yeah,
little
I know.
phone, and it was really dilapidated. I had to drive by it every day. I was sick of looking at it. No, so-
Maher, isn't, he redid the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't even know who did it, but someone bought that. I thought it was a classic tear down, but someone bought it. They worked on it all winter. It looks kind of nice. No, I'm, you know, if we could partner with people who want to buy blighted properties like that and
Flip 'em,
fix it up,
essentially.
we could help them along with that. I think that'd be money well spent.
It's on the HRA side of things.
That's probably gonna become a rental house or something, or if not, a good starter home for someone. So it meets a need.
I think we need to be a little bit more specific on the blight thing. I actually like, obviously, like I'm renovating the bank and I actually applied for that and I did get approved. But mine was more so for like asbestos, right? So like buildings that are older, like I have asbestos in my building, so that's what I had requested it for. And it was denied, which that's fine, like it's not a big deal, but it's something to think about because especially if we're trying to renovate these old buildings, these old businesses, that gets very spendy very fast. I literally did all of my plumbing separately, so I didn't have to take out that stuff because you have to hire specialty people to do it.
Mhm.
The cost gets really high really fast. And it was like, yes, it's not like a completely blighted surface where we would take the entire place down, but those things make a difference. And that was one of the things that I was gonna bring up with like more money for renovations for people. I did receive like full disclosure, I've received a $750 like approval for renovation.
Very far.
Sorry.
Insulation?
Yes, I mean, it goes nowhere. I mean, like that was gone in a blink. And so it makes it really difficult as somebody who does want to invest in the community when you're doing a $200,000-300,000 project and you get $750. Even $5,000 would have been great. And I think that's where it gets divvied out almost too much to all these other different people so that it doesn't really make an impact, you know? And I think that's where I struggled getting that. I was like, well, this is great, but like this kind of hurts a little, you know? So more money for renovation or more, you know, I think about the Dirks building, like that's gonna take a hefty amount of money to put in, no matter what a person does to it, even if they do their own work. It's not cheap and it goes very, very quickly.
Another example of that Kathy and I are aware of over in Bird Island, because the cultural center on whose board we sit, is got that Times Baker House right on the highway. And they've gotten that designated, you know, as a historical building, which qualifies it for some funds and stuff, and got a bunch of grants, and it's a long process. Just getting the architectural part of it done. Before you have done any work at all, you gotta do all this. And we're kind of progressing along, but it's gonna be very expensive. It's gonna take a lot of big grants. And the thing we're facing, if you get all this done, it's gonna be very nice. But what you can do with it then? It's, you know, trying to imagine how it's gonna produce any revenue is a bit of a stretch. So I mean, that's an odd building. It's, you know, it's not, doesn't really have commercial value, but it's.
Breakfast.
Hmm?
That breakfast type,
No, I don't think they.
or you can't do
no.
residential?
Well, it's not that we couldn't, but that isn't on the list of what we prefer to use it for. kind of a writer's haven, writers and
Visiting
residents.
artists.
Visiting artists.
Nothing that I can.
But that's pretty hard.
Produce any revenue. That's a problem with it.
And in the meantime, until the asbestos is out, we can't do anything with it. And we didn't get the funding for the asbestos, so it's
And
like,
if you get all that done and get it all fixed up, it's, it's still gonna pay its overhead, there's gonna be utilities and taxes and that kind of stuff.
And ongoing maintenance.
Yeah,
Would it be turned into a meeting place?
it could be, it's
not big.
not
Small
big,
meetings.
it's,
Oh, like, there's a place in Redwood, I think it's called Tables. Where it's literally a teacher who took a bunch of tables and put them all together and people have baby showers in there and bridal showers. And it's just a bunch of like old tables that she painted and refurbished and it's just an additional space. I think here, in my building, people are like, you're gonna rent out the basement? I'm like, no. Oh, this is where I have my baby shower. This is where I have my bridal shower.
Yeah.
There's not many places here in town where you can rent out a space for things like that. I mean, we have Max's and is that it?
That can be too big for a
Absolutely.
shower.
The
too.
Legion,
The
you can
city
rent
is-
out.
have meetings down there.
Yeah.
Because that was before they had the old liquor store, when that was a meeting area.
We don't really have that here. So like that, I mean, that could be something that place is used for.
Yeah, I know we had a meeting down there that this would have been in the early eighties, and we're at the canning company, we were trying to deal with a wastewater problem, and we had half the town mad at us, and they had a big heated meeting down there where half the town gathered down there to yell at us.
In the basement of the bank building?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't have fond memories of that place.
You can come by and relive them anytime.
Well, there's no elevator there, so that's part of the problem. It's just
Yeah.
stairs.
I think too, I mean, even just like putting information out, I think as a person who's starting a business, it's quite terrifying to even have an idea. And I think people think that it has to be this big extravagant idea, right? But like in the regards to like tables, like that's literally all she did. She just bought a
Tables
place
and buildings.
with, yeah.
Mhm.
And it's a meeting place. And I think it's really great because we don't have something like that. It would require very low overhead for somebody to go in and take some old dilapidated tables and create a meeting space, like those things, like
Mhm.
nobody thinks about that.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna do it. But, I mean, somebody might want to, or look at how well Enchanted Gardens is doing. I mean, like, I never would have thought that bringing in a painting place in town would,
Mhm.
and she's doing very well. I think it's a really huge benefit. I think it's a huge benefit for our kids. The kids knew her because she used to be the STEAM teacher.
Mhm.
I mean, all of those, I think that would be really cool to do something like that. But I also thought about painting the sidewalks a little bit more. I don't know if that.
Painting the
falls under
sidewalks? Well,
EDA.
sidewalk improvement, but what's your,
So I shouldn't say sidewalks, crosswalks.
oh,
We live over on West Birch, right? And so I think there's 4 daycares over there right now. And a park. And we have lots and lots of young kids. And so one of the things that I really wanted was that lighted crosswalk that's in town. So that's there, which is really great. Not one car will stop there. You guys can sit out there all day, push that button, not one person's gonna stop. Have you ever been to the Rice Hospital? Like where they have those like
Yeah.
big flashing lights and it's
Mhm.
like 50 feet in front? That'd be great to have something like that because we have trucks that are flying through there like nobody's business. And
Mhm.
now with putting in the sidewalks and the sidewalk paths, I think we need something on 71 that really shows people like you have to stop here. Those little ones, nobody's stopping, or even just painting the ground. So it's more, or painting on the, maybe that's the highway department because it's a
yeah,
state highway.
and it's a state highway, so I think it's not
Mhm.
just something the city can do, right?
Or could we put a light on the side?
US highway, yeah.
Because nobody stops, or even if the cops wanted to just make their quota for the month.
They've
and just
sat
sit
there
and,
before.
Hit that up in the summer.
I feel like that over at my end, I live on North Ninth Street, like right by where the gravel road, the T to the gravel, and people zoom by that gravel road and turn the corner real fast.
Yeah.
Down there too.
That would be something maybe more the city might wanna
City.
take up.
When you
Yeah,
said painting the
brainstorming.
sidewalks, I was like, so hire a sidewalk like chalk artist? Have them color the sidewalk?
Other ideas for brainstorming?
I don't know if this would be one. Creating our own like YMCA program. Economic development, is that us or not?
More parks.
So like Parks and Rec, okay.
Well, the Y runs programs through the school.
Right, but why are we giving money to Candy, Ohio County when we can create our own?
We couldn't get the ball started.
Because there's not people to do it.
Liz Fisher wanted to do it, and she actually presented to the city, or not to the city, she presented to Candy, Ohio. She presented to Edwards, you can talk to her about it. She wanted to create her own because YMCA was telling her that she couldn't do this and she couldn't do that, and whatever. And she wanted to create her own. And essentially there was no funding for her,
Mhm, to do it.
for her
So
to,
more like a community ed program. Community,
Yeah.
like we had
Mhm.
5 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
we did have something like that.
Well, we had, yeah,
Yeah, it used to be community ed was independent.
yeah.
It
Okay.
was its own entity.
Mhm.
I mean, like, and it was essentially like a daycare.
During the summer it ran, well, they do classes during the year.
Yeah.
You know, driver's ed or
Yeah,
computer classes or something like that during the year and use the school.
because I know we need a daycare center. I know a daycare center is
Mhm.
something that's been like talked about multiple times, but even for school age kids, like that's a really big.
Mhm.
Mhm.
After school care.
People signed up for after school.
For after school, their summer program, they tend to have
More.
a little bit more.
So the Y has after school care?
It was expensive.
No?
I know that when Liz left. That, like, we had a lot of reduction,
Mm.
she's very good. Not saying that we'd even be able to get her back, but she was someone who was invested in the community, and like, she did fun things around our town too with our kids, like one. I don't think people realize like how intense it is, but she did a Minnesota week. Where they went around to like the parks and they grabbed leaves and then they talked about the trees and the leaves and the flowers that we have in Minnesota. And then the next day, then they learned about the fish and then they learned how to like read maps. And then the next day she had somebody come in to like teach them how to make their own lures. And then on Thursday, they went out and they like found sticks, made their fishing pole. And then on Friday, they went out fishing at the pond. Like it was a whole week of them being out in the community and being around. She did stuff where they would bring them to the nursing home and it would be like read to a child. So like
Mhm.
the elderly would read books to the kids and they would go and sit down. So it was more like generational stuff.
It sounds
as
like,
well.
something that she could do or somebody could do as kind of a private business.
Run out of the dirt spill.
Yeah.
Hey.
Scouts do a lot of that, what you just said.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
But I still think any form of daycare is very much needed
Mhm.
here.
The other idea I will throw out there is the hotel.
I don't support that.
I know,
I
but
never have.
you don't have to put it on your sticky note.
Fine, I don't, but just, I think
I
it's a
know.
waste of resources.
Well, hotel or hotel renovation.
Yeah, renovation would be great.
Mhm.
Or expansion.
I mean, I have heard recently about people who have stayed at the Sheep Shed and will not stay there anymore.
I've heard that as well.
There's a lot of people that aren't desirable that stay there.
Well, it wasn't that, it was the condition of the rooms.
I have heard that.
I
as
know
well.
they had, I don't know if they're still doing that. I don't, Tracy owned it, they were redoing all the rooms. I don't know how far they got.
I don't know.
I don't know if that stopped. I'm guessing it stopped since the new owners came in.
And what some of these people are doing instead is seeing if there's, an apartment for rent at Traditions and staying there, using that as a hotel.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, well, but
The hotel has been a frustration because we've been down a bunch of blind alleys with different players. But I would disagree with George in that if someone comes in and does his own due diligence and wants to invest in a property in town, then we should do everything we can to assist them.
Agree with.
mhm.
I mean, maybe that's what the apartments above the Dirks building become. Like a
Mhm.
Airbnb, VRBO option.
Again, could be run by a private party.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How often is the grandma's house rented out? You know?
Quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
Cause that's on,
There's
that's
always
on
vehicles.
VRBO or Airbnb, I think.
It's not officially, they don't list it officially, but it is run like because they didn't have to, word of mouth was so great that
Yeah.
they didn't
I
have to
don't-
list it.
Anytime RCC has people come, they stay there.
Yeah, it seems like there's someone in there just about all the time.
That's
And
good.
then they've got that little conference center built onto it,
Mm-hmm.
which is another meeting center, so it's.
That is a place to have showers or something too. Other thoughts?
I think we should make it a goal to maybe every time we meet as an EDA, identify one opportunity to promote on our Facebook and, just personally promote it by individually. And just rotate them throughout the year. It'll give us, I think we probably have 20 some properties in inventory right now that we would be able to highlight and just really drive, focus on,
Mhm.
filling some of these spaces. There's a lot of opportunities out there.
What do you mean by 20 properties? I mean, housing or lots or commercial?
For sale or for rent signs or something.
So commercial, residential, for sale or rent?
Probably focusing more on the commercial,
That idea.
being the EDA.
Yeah.
Like that idea.
Is there any like thing that we could do as like rent assistance for people who are first starting out or leasing buildings? Is that?
They offer grant programming.
Mhm.
I think there are some communities that offer something similar, or they, to help cover utilities for.
I mean, the county does some of that. They'll do rent assistance and utility assistance,
Residential.
residential, yeah. Oh, you're talking about commercial?
Yeah. Cause I've heard from some people that like it's easy to get into a place. But then it doesn't always stay easy to stay in that place, right? And
Mhm.
so, especially if you're green with it and you don't know how to negotiate, you just kind of go, okay, yeah, sure, let's do this because you're desperate for a
Mhm.
place, but you can't say, oh, we're gonna keep this rate. I mean, like at any moment, like a commercial person can say, oh, we're gonna double your rent, or if it's not in your contract, you can do whatever they
Mhm.
want. But I think even if there was like a 6-month thing of saying, hey, in your first 6 months of being open, which is the most difficult time for most businesses, we have this grant in place where we can cover your utilities, or we could cover partial rent or whatever.
Hmm.
So that a little bit of that fear and that burden kind of goes away. I wouldn't say to do it forever, but it might encourage people to try something out versus not.
Yeah, take the risk
Mhm.
off their mind.
Other thoughts? I think we're gonna,
To kind of expand on John's idea about,
Property of the week or whatever you want. to
yeah,
call it.
well, I was thinking, like once a month, we spotlight an area of business. And Susie or someone go, or a member of the board, go visit them, then write up a little thing about, give them some.
That at the bank a
publicity.
couple
It would involve
times.
some coordination with the newspaper with Scott, but it might also involve some advertising dollars and things like that. And it'd be good for relations between the EDA and the business community.
The bank used to do that a while. They would go live at different businesses like once a month or something and kind of just have that owner talk about it and
on the radio then, or what?
on Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook.
Yep. And then we'd have like yeah. Keep it up so people would know about
Or even
businesses.
just like how the EDA helped them, like
Right.
Yeah.
what program did they sign up for?
Mhm.
Did they receive a grant? What did they
Yeah.
use that grant for? How has it impacted their business, or how has it impacted, I think it just
That's a
brings
good
more
idea.
attention to it.
Part of our loan process. They get it, they have to do a testimonial. Can't make them, but you can request it.
Mhm.
We can make those little signs like MMDC has.
Yeah,
Put them in the window.
yeah.
I'd like to see, and I know you're kind of going along the lines of it, is getting build a brand of Olivia and start
Mhm.
promoting it.
Yeah, working towards that page, and one of them is revamping our website with specific resources, for businesses.
Mhm.
Could
Mhm.
highlight available properties and things like
Yeah.
that. So it's a little bit easier to find
Mhm.
what's available in the city, what's rentable, square feet, stuff like that. So,
Like-
yeah.
Mhm.
Do we, other than realtors, advertise anything outside of the city? Like put stuff in metro area advertisement stuff, trying to draw people out?
The decrepit billboard in Redwood Falls.
That needs to be, is that still ours?
I think it's changed now.
Oh, perfect.
I don't know, I drive by it too many times a week.
I've never seen it.
Well,
I don't think it's there anymore,
Yeah,
now that I
you
think
know.
about it.
Okay.
the Department of Employment and Economic Development used to have a site where any city could list properties, commercial properties on their site. And people will go there and look to see what's available.
Lois, and now there's another program that's complementing Lois. I was just on a webinar with Dean about it, so we can start populating more stuff.
We should put commercial properties on them. Mhm. Okay, anything else? You're free to write other ideas down on your sticky notes. But maybe we should give us 10 minutes to actually or these, put one idea per sticky, and I'll compile them. And get back to you with what, no, I don't know if you wanna, if you wanna be incognito, you can take a few of each color.
I have no preference.
There are 7 post-it notes.
7 post-it notes there, okay,
Everyone should get one.
all right.
They're okay with not being.
Are we just doing like 3 main goals and like,
I want
I-
to.
I say as many as you want,
okay,
and then I'll rank them, like how many got, how many votes.
like the option 1 got
Sticky note
7.
per item or can I put?
One sticky note per item. Yeah, and then I'll collect the sticky notes and compile them and let you know. And if it's something that we're currently working on, feel free to put that again on your list so that we know that it's still important to everybody.
However many you want, whatever your heart desires.
About bother putting Olivia Newton-John on there.
Yeah, I know. She's got-
Well, she did die, didn't she?
like 2 years ago.
She was here. Did you know that?
I did know that. That came up in my research about Olivia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we just need to focus on bringing the next celebrity, maybe Taylor Swift. See if we can
Yeah.
bring Travis Kelce to come and join us for our
Olivia
town.
Rodriguez or something.
Maybe we can get the snowplow that they
Yeah.
named.
Is she like Wednesday or whatever, or is-
You haven't been reading the
Oh, yeah?
paper. This is Trump country.
That's fair. That's fair.
Book about Olivia the pig.
there you go.
We have those books at the bank on our center.
That's a good-
table. I did a read aloud one day.
Talk to Lindsay Long,
Yeah?
ECFE.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
She
I
loves
got
it
one
when
of those
give her
things in
stuff to
the-
do.
there you go.
In the mail and Bryn's too little to do those yet.
Oh, your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be-
Yeah, you have to be, I think, 2. And she, yeah, it said 2.
I
What?
get my books from Imagination Library.
Oh, I do that. ECFE like classes, like, I don't know, like the movie night or whatever, but
Dolly Parton has a program too.
yep,
that-
Bryn gets
The
that too.
Imagination Library.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She loves that.
Did her big 1 million book
Mhm.
donation at my former occupation. That was a lot of fun to see her.
Do they have stuff at the library at all?
Library of Congress,
No, here,
For what?
in like summer programs.
Yes, yes. There's a lot of classes for kids that go on in the summer.
So, yeah, one of the things that they did in Redwood, which was kind of cool. Like they have the school program where they serve breakfast and lunch,
Yeah.
right? And then in Redwood, they have every day in the library, they have an afternoon, so like you can have an afternoon snack. So like they would have an afternoon snack and then they'd have like something like somebody from the community come in and like read to the kids. So it was just a place for everybody to kind of congregate
cool.
and it was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, check Facebook, library posts on Facebook or in the library themselves about what's coming up for kids, especially in the summer. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, that Bryn is
In Wilbur,
older.
when I was a kid, every park that had like a pavilion, there'd be like an arts and craft teacher there, like 2 or 3 afternoons a week, certain time, and you go up there and you do a little craft and you play. It was so much fun.
Sounds
I don't
fun.
know who ran it, probably just Parks and Rec, but. And you didn't have to leave your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where they had programming, yeah. Love it.
I think
Yep. Direct them, let's see.
I think it just gets them in the door too, like the one in Redwood. It was really fun, and that's kind of how I got, like, the idea with my nanny was that we would do. Like, she goes, they do breakfast and they do lunch and they stop at a park in the morning and then in the afternoon. Down in Redwood, that's what one of my friends did, is they would do that exact same thing, and then every afternoon at 2:00, they would go to the library and they would spend an hour at the library and they would have snack at the library and then they would come home. So it just gave them like one more thing to do.
Mhm.
Where like all the kids went. There were kids that were like up to 12 years old who would just go in there and they would read.
So
Yeah.
in our library, we're part of Pioneer Land, but we also have a Friends of the Library group, and you'd be more than welcome to join. Anybody can join Friends of the Library. And when we have funding, you know, whether it's memorials or fundraising or whatever, then we can designate that for certain children's programs or for the prizes for some of the programs that they're doing through Pioneer Land, because the library budget is limited,
Mhm.
quite limited. So the Friends try to act or support it in the background with paying for some of those costs that aren't in the budget. Mhm.
And I think a lot of it is like heart desires, all of this too. Right? Even just telling the kids, like, how many kids do we know that just like ride bike around in the summer? Like, hey, I get a free snack if I go to the library at 2:00. It gets them in the library, you know? There's a lot, you're not gonna get kids that have parents come there with them every single time, but I don't know, builds that relationship.
Well, I can bring that up at the library meeting.
It's fun.
We'd like to our library. this summer.
Yeah.
Rhode Island would do that.
We had these-
Are you talking a while ago then? huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, everybody turn in their Ideas?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
And just.
I was
oh,
trying
okay.
to see if my heart desired anything else.
Okay, well, that's
But-
fine. No rush, because I still have half a sandwich to eat too, so.
But
But,
joining the regional library,
That's
one
mine
of the
too, thank
smartest things we ever did. I mean, that's a real asset. Just by comparison, before we were in that, before we were in Pioneer Land, Olivia had a library board, just the Olivia Library. And they insisted that a board member had to read every book before it could be put in the library. Because they wanted local control over what was being read. I mean, this was like
Yeah, no.
seventies, eighties, something, when
Martha's
Pat
Cookbook.
was on the board. They drove her nuts when they were, they're going through the process of joining Pioneer Land was a real battle because these people did not want to give up, half the board did not want to give up local control.
Wow.
So.
I think I read that.
Progress.
Have circled around.
Uh-huh.
The wider landscape.
Yeah.
Funny.
Wow.
Really nice library, though. It's
Yeah.
really
It's
nice.
sweet.
Mhm. All right, let's move on to number 8, updates and related items. Business items. Susie, do you have anything?
Well, we had the winter warm up last Friday. I was not in attendance, but I heard it was well attended.
It was a lower attendance, but I think they got good orders out of it, so that was good. John was there with me.
Yeah, I think there was about 51, but it was. I think we've done what, 120 maybe? in the past? We gotta figure out how to blow it up a little better, and we will.
It was a very fun event. It was my first winter warm up. And I
Mhm.
really liked it.
So what was the event? Because initially I thought you were talking about temperatures, but obviously not.
Oh, no, the winter warm up at Max's, it's Sons of the American Legion and the Olivia Liquor Store.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a
And the
like a big
chamber.
sample, oh yeah,
Mhm.
big sampling event.
Okay.
You get like a
Gotcha.
pop of some sort when you walk in the door, and then there's free apps. You just work your way through all these tables. It can be a little dangerous.
Don't
I know your limits.
Yep,
want to warm up too much.
it's pretty fun, and there's always something weird that you get to try, and
I tasted a lot of things that I would never have bought, but I enjoyed being able to taste them.
Mhm.
It's fun.
It is, it's a lot of fun.
Where's all this stuff like advertised?
It was in the paper a couple times and on Facebook.
I saw people sharing it on Facebook.
and it's been held on the last Friday of January for probably 5, 6 years at least.
And that might change because we identified like 2 major sporting events that we were competing with on Friday night, so.
That's always hard too. Cause I know the bank is.
So obviously
planning-
we need to get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always hard to plan events, cause the bank has 2, or 1 in February and 1 in March for customers that are very hard to plan with different sporting events or other things going on. Just like your Christmas party.
Mhm.
We're like, well, there was a
Just gotta set a
Chamber.
date and
There was
make
an
it.
EDA meeting. There was a couple other things going on at the same time as our Christmas party.
Susie, anything else?
I'm working on a letter of support. Jackie Edwards requested a letter from the EDA and from the city for the wellness center, and she'll be submitting it on to. The center.
Senator Lang and Congressman Erdahl have introduced 2 separate pieces of legislation to support this particular project.
Oh,
So she's asked for letters of support. I'm sure she sent out this request for multiple contingencies. So both Susie and I received one, and so I wanted to confirm with her. I said, you're looking for 2 letters, one from EDA, one from city, and she said yes. So we're both working on those letters.
I have a quote to get pricing on these things called earth planters. So they're like a self-watering, you water them, I think it's once a month. And just a way to introduce some soft greens and some flowers to downtown. So we're playing around with a number of pots per block and working on an adopt a planter type of program that we want to roll out this spring.
Fun idea.
That's kind of like part of a larger project where we will fix the sidewalks. We're working on getting some quotes to see what it would cost to just kind of repair what's there. And we've been working with SEH. We do need to work with MinDOT since it's part of the sidewalk is on 212 there. But just really working hard to get that cleaned up and taken care of this year. They've been failing for a long time and they're really pretty dangerous at this point.
Where the pots go, where the trees were,
Possibly. Mhm.
how are they self-watering there?
There's like a reservoir that you fill
Okay,
once a month or so, and then it like waters itself. There's been some failures in some of the water lines that hang, so trying to avoid that and then just. They could be kept out all year, but they also could be removed. We're just easing public works into green again.
that was my next question. I mean, couldn't that watering system be worked into the pots somehow or other?
Potentially,
Their plan right now is so, we've had a business or two complain about water in their basement, lower levels. And they don't know if that's related to the watering system or not. And so the plan is to spend the first couple of months hand watering everything downtown to see if that has solved the problem, or if that water is still there, we can kind of take that out of the equation. So, when we've talked about adding greenery back downtown, because it's been a priority of mine to make downtown beautiful again. And so the compromise that we struck as a team is on planters. Because you can remove them for easiest snow removal. They don't have roots that go under and mess up your pipes and everything. However, you're still bringing a softness, a green space back to the downtown area. So that's what we're gonna try. Public Works is fine with hand watering for the first couple of months to see how it goes.
Or like the hanging baskets, hand watering them too.
They have like a truck that they can go up there for.
Until ocean.
So people are saying that they're getting water in their basements because of those.
Perhaps the pipe is leaking
Yeah.
underground or something.
So
They're getting it.
that's
Gotcha.
how they're gonna try to remove that from the equation.
Just a little background on that watering system, because we did that in 2001 when we did the streetscape and all the reconstruction downtown.
That was the chamber, right?
Yeah,
The chamber funded? The chamber-
no. It was decided by a community, a community task force that they wanted the flower pots. And so then we're looking at how do you get them watered? And we actually talked about having a volunteer system where people would get up there on ladders or something. And we decided that would be a disaster. It wouldn't work. And so we've settled on the automatic system. And being that it was incorporated with new streetlights, the electric department paid for it. Because they paid for the streetlights, all the electrical work that was done, and which was a nice benefit for the taxpayers.
Are you doing that for an entire year or just the first
No,
couple
just for
months?
the first couple of months to see if that solves an issue or if the issue is still there. We can kind of remove that it's not
That problem.
that problem.
I want those to go away. Every time I drive through our town, I'm like, oh, our town is so much nicer than all the other ones because it looks so pretty as you drive through.
I love those planters.
Yeah.
We're,
It is really pretty.
we're not taking those away. I'm not taking away plants.
Yeah.
Much to everybody's chagrin, if you walk around and see trees being cut down. We're not taking away plants that don't need to be taken away. And we're trying to bring them back.
I've heard a lot of comments over the years too. I mean, it gives the first impression of the town. If you're driving out from the cities, if you've driven through Stewart, or Buffalo Lake, you haven't even gotten in there downtown, but it doesn't leave much of an impression. But you drive down Libby's Main Street, it makes a first impression. In the summer, you got the plants out there, and it's
Anything else, Susie?
Just a reminder that the comprehensive plan is still open for comment period until the 5th, I believe. Correct. And you can either do those in writing or you can go through our website and go into their system where there's like track changes. That'll be presented to the city council on the 16th of February, I think.
It will be, so there's a public forum on the comprehensive plan on the 5th with the hope show adoption of the comprehensive plan on the February 20th week.
February 20th, there we go. And then this week I also got out our certificates of rent paid and our loan interest letters to all of our tenants, former tenants and clients.
Okay. Any updates from the commissioners?
I think there's a chamber mixer tonight
Tonight,
at
corn
5
cave.
at the arcade.
Hmm.
Y'all should
Oh.
come. The EDAs are members, so you guys can come, even
Yeah, I asked you today if I could come. Mainly because they have ice
What
cream.
time is that, John?
5
5
o'clock.
o'clock.
Get out of work early.
Get out of retirement early? I don't know.
I don't think you want to get out of retirement.
Yeah, the next one is a bad one.
Mary Jo move.
Okay, okay, and then just a reminder that I will not be here on February 8th or the 28th for potential meetings.
The 14th? The 14th.
14th and the, yeah, 14th and the 28th.
Enjoy the warm weather.
I will not be here the 14th either, so we need a vice chair.
Or skip the meeting.
Well, is that the one where we were thinking about delivering Valentines to businesses?
Oh, yeah, how's that going? Still a
I
plan?
haven't ordered anything yet. I've gotten a whole bunch of things put into my basket. I just gotta pull the trigger on what is cutest. And I have a list of businesses from that I've been contemplating. So,
Don't think too much about it.
yeah, trying to keep it simple, keep it fun.
I guess
He'd roll his eyes.
pick the top one.
So we
Yeah,
probably
pick the
won't
top
need to
one.
actually have a meeting on the 14th, especially if we're gonna have kind of
Mm.
a small group. But as it gets a little closer, I can send out kind of a list or timelines of delivery, and then all hands make for light work.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Especially if the weather's nice. Yeah, yeah. Okay. If there's nothing else, then entertain a motion to adjourn.
Take one of them on
Oh.
here.
The meeting that we had, or the meeting that we were supposed to watch on
Open
YouTube.
meeting law.
Oh, open
Open
meeting
meeting
law.
law.
I watched that on YouTube. It was good. I even subscribed.
You did, you were one of our trails.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yep.
very excited.
Did a link ever get sent out to watch that after?
Yeah,
Cause I didn't see one.
But we can send that out along with the comprehensive plan.
And what I did learn at that meeting was that our subcommittee can actually have a closed portion of a subcommittee meeting if we're talking about price for property.
Mhm.
So our subcommittee can actually have a closed meeting, closed session.
Yeah, I thought it
Yeah,
went really
good.
well.
Thought to bring, and if you haven't watched it yet, it's very entertaining.
I was waiting for the link as well, so
Mhm.
I'll look for that.
Yeah.
Or I guess I can go and search YouTube.
I know.
So, okay, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
That's good.
Second. Wait for that one.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for a good meeting.
What did you leave?
Staying a little late.
Josie Brown is not gonna be happy with you.
Look at Chip.
No,
No, daycare closed at noon. And so
one
he
week. at a
picked up
resort,
Bryn
no,
to watch her
this
over
is-
his
and
lunch hour.
about 10
And I
days
said
at
I'd
a
come home after the
resort.
meeting.
And-
And he was hoping it was a fast meeting.
No.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Looking